Did you know that one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck and never achieve success is not a lack of intelligence, talent, or opportunity, but a lack of self honesty? The problem is that many people, guys, keep lying to themselves about what's really holding them back. They say they want success, but avoid discomfort. They say they want growth, but repeat the same habits every day, And they say they want a different life, but they keep choosing temporary comfort over long term transformation. And that's the problem. That's a problem. That's where the real danger is, because the reality is the longer you avoid the truth about your current self, the more years you lose living below your potential. So how do we change that? We don't know that yet, but that's what we are going to talk about today. Hi guys, my name is Fabio from Journey to Success, and welcome. I want to thank some of my listeners for inspiring this episode about the transformative, power of self-honesty. So this listener texted me and pointed out that we need to be honest about the narratives we tell ourselves. She's absolutely right. So today we're going to dive deep into this topic and uncover the steps you can take to embrace self-honesty and break free from what's holding you back. We're going to explore, practical steps to identify the excuses you may be using, the how to shift your mindset, from avoiding discomfort to pursuing genuine transformation. But before we go forward, as always, please subscribe so I know this is the right direction to lead you guys, to drive you and to guide you towards your journey to success. And let's get started. As always, so let's address the first problem. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. No, you're not. And, you want to achieve financial freedom, right? But the truth is, the world doesn't work that way. It's not just about wanting something. Reaching success, guys, doesn't come from just reading law attraction books like The Secret, or praying to the universe for money. Of course, these things, in my opinion, work because it is important to give the right dedication and energy towards something that you really believe. But it requires hard work. Okay, it requires hard work, patience, and the understanding that reaching certain level of desperation most of the times can bring you closer to your dreams and your success. Okay, and most of the time, if you are not desperate enough to achieve your success, motivational speakers, they call as hunger. So, to be hungry. So if you're not hungry enough, it means you don't have the right key to get the success you are aiming for. But what are the 9 pillars of what I would call, let's say, success/dream self-honesty? Let's start. First point is understanding self-awareness. Okay, guys, it is so important to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. You have no idea how much important it is. When you recognize your strengths, you can shape them, you can strengthen them, and continue to improve them. With weaknesses, it's actually quite interesting, very interesting, because when you think about an obstacle to overcome, and when this obstacle is difficult, right? Even apparently impossible. The truth is that if you have the mindset to overcome obstacles, The truth is that your mind starts to dream and travel so far to find solutions. Trust me, your mind is infinite, okay? Unless you don't want, of course. So you just need to explore it more and more to find the answers you need, guys. It's not easy, it's tiring. I'm tired. I know what I'm talking about. It's not easy, but it's possible. Okay, it is possible. Self awareness allows you to understand how your behaviors affect your goals, guys. Okay, number two, setting clear goals. Establishing specific, so smart, so specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Smart goals provides direction and purpose. Okay, we dedicated an entire episode to the smart goal concept a few episodes ago, and I suggest listening because, in my opinion, it was one of the best episodes so far. We talk about the importance of being specific rather than switching between projects, for example, how measurable progress helps predict future outcomes, and why realistic, achievable goals matter more than chasing illusions or relying on luck. We also explore the deeper meaning behind goals by connecting them to personal values, freedom, family, purpose, and long term fulfillment. And lastly, we discuss how deadlines should not become a source of stress, but instead act as intentional and spiritual reminders to keep moving forward. And so the core message is very simple, guys. When you set smart goals, I'm going to repeat again for you: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals. You stop living reactively and you start living more intentionally. Okay, so you transform invisible dreams into visible progress. Number three, embracing reality. Acknowledging your current situation is important. It's very important. Example: if you don't have a job and think that you can achieve financial freedom in just a month simply because you feel a strong adrenaline push and try to stay in a positive vibe. Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. If you can maintain the same motivation for months or even years, then yes, of course. Then yes, and finally you can succeed. But it's not going to happen just because you think your reality is different than the current one, okay? You really need to embrace reality while working towards your goals. And then it's going to be also easier to reach it. Number four, promoting resilience. Boosting resilience often requires perseverance. Okay. Imagine you fall into a cave. Okay, I'm going to make a little bit dramatic. So imagine you fall into a cave. Okay. You're trying to find solutions, figure out to climb back up, right? Eventually, if you find no solution, you will die. Okay. You will die because there are no solutions. Just a small cave, very slippery, nothing to do, nothing to say. Now, let's make this experiment I came up today. Close your eyes. So close your eyes. Whatever problem you have, acknowledge that you feel like you fell into a cave, stuck in a blind spot. So you really feel, oh my God, I'm in this cave. How am I going to do? Now open your eyes and look around you. Look at the people around you. Look at where you are, what you have, what you are wearing, what you can smell. Look forward more, even more, beyond the curtains of your house, before the window of your room, and beyond the next street. I don't know. Look at how many infinite possibilities you have to solve your problem. Because guess what? You're not in a cave. You're free. And with this freedom, you have infinite solutions, guys. Okay, remember that. Number five, adopting a growth mindset. Adopting a growth mindset means considering challenges as opportunities for growth and embracing a trial and error approach as a valuable learning tool. When we were children, guys, we were often taught that failure meant the end, finito, finish, kaput. However, over the years, I've come to understand that the more I fail, the more I can analyze the reasons behind those failures and explore alternative paths and solutions. So, my way to fail, guys, in this sense, can be linked to a drop of water. I can break it down into parts, splitting into smaller and smaller pieces, try to find the solution from 3 sextillion parts of that drop. And finally, you will find the right solution to achieve success. Okay. So by embracing a growth mindset, you can enhance your ability to learn and improve through challenges. Remember that. Number six, seeking feedback. I know it can be hard in the beginning. I know because I've been there. So it can be hard in the beginning, sometimes even later on. It's difficult to receive feedback from people who may not understand what you're doing, or even from people who do know what you're doing and cheer for you. But let's be honest, it depends on how much you zoom in or out on the situation, right? Because if you tend to zoom in, for sure, you are gonna have something to say, you will have something to say. But if you zoom out more and more, your view becomes wider. So you can discover more layers and truths that you may have never considered before. And when you receive, constructive criticism from others, you can enhance your self-awareness. And this is very important. So honest feedback can provide new perspectives and help identify areas for growth. Number seven, building relationships. This is very important. This is so important. I never get bored with this. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals, with supportive people who encourage honesty and encourage you, accountability is a strong foundation for collaborative success. So we're talking about collaborative brainstorming, So share experiences can boost motivation and make grow easier, guys. And when you share your highlights with other people who have the same understanding as you enhance your level of intelligence. It feels like you have two brains in one, It's beautiful. Number eight, regular reflection. Taking time to reflect, taking time to reflect on your progress and experiences, it's very important. Very, very important. Honestly, this is one of my weaknesses, if I have to be honest. I do so much, and I know that I'm improving in whatever I do, but I always wish for more. I always hope for better. However, I also acknowledge that this can be a mistake, guys. We are in the present moment, okay? We're in the present moment right now, working hard for our future, okay? But it is also important to look back at your past self, something that I rarely do. Seriously, always take time to do this. Don't make this mistake. Because all in this way, you can really understand how much you have accomplished without even realizing it, because we are so much focused on the future, And number nine, the last one, celebrating achievements. This is kind of a consequence, right? Once you acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small, no matter how big, do something special, something that you can remember, something that gives you energy, something that provides enough fuel for the next day, for the next week, for the next month, for the next hour. So recognizing progress reinforces motivation and commitment to your goals. Okay. So these are, for me, guys, for me, of course, the 9 pillars to to achieve success, to reach success in a self-honesty way. But before we wrap up, okay, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we talk about today. Today we explore one of the biggest reasons why so many people stay stuck in life and never truly reach the level of success they dream about. And with some surprise, it's not because they lack intelligence, talent, opportunities, potential, whatever. Most of the time, the real reason is a lack of self honesty. We talk about how many people say they want success, guys, financial freedom, growth, better future, but at the same time, they continue repeating the same habits, avoiding discomfort and choosing temporary comfort over long term transformation. And that's where the real danger begins. Because the longer you avoid the truth about yourself, the more years you spend living below your real potential. And we discuss how success is not something that magically appears, just because you stay positive or because you read motivational books and hope the universe change your life, overnight. Real success requires patience, consistency, hard work, resilience, and the gameness to face reality for what it truly is, okay? From there, we explore what I call the 9 pillars of success, self honesty, and we start with self awareness, understanding how important it is to recognize both your strengths and your weaknesses. Because when you truly understand yourself, you can improve what makes you stronger and work on what is holding you back. And we talk about setting clear goals through the SMART goal system and how goal give direction, structure, and purpose to your life. Without clear goals, guys, it becomes easy to live reactively instead of to live intentionally. We also explore the importance of embracing reality, guys. Accepting where you are right now doesn't mean giving up on your dreams, okay? It simply means understanding that transformation takes time. Something that I have to still learn these days. Takes time, takes discipline, consistency. And then we moved into resilience, the idea that sometimes life can feel like falling into a dark cave with no way out. But the truth is that when you stop focusing only on fear and begin looking around you, you realize that you're not trapped. You still have freedom, guys, possibilities, and opportunities to change your situation, okay? We also talked about developing a growth mindset and learning to see failure in a different way. Failure is not the end. It never. It truly failures. It is never the end. It's never the end. Actually, maybe it's the beginning. Truly, failure becomes useful when you analyze it, learn from it, and use it to adjust your path forward. Okay. And after that, we discussed the importance of feedback and how difficult it can be sometimes to be, to not to be to hear criticisms from others. But when you zoom out and look at things from a wider perspective, feedback can reveal truths and blind spots you may never have noticed on your own. And we also highlight the value of building a relationship and surrounding yourself with people who support your growth, challenge your mindset, and encourage accountability. Because growth, guys, becomes easier when you're not walking the journey completely alone. And then we reflect on the importance of regular reflection itself, taking the time to pause and acknowledge how far you have already come instead of always focusing only on what is missing or what is still needs to be achieved. And finally, we talked about celebrating achievements, even the small ones, because recognizing your progress gives you energy, guys, gives you motivation and fuel to continue moving forward toward your bigger goals. Now, I would like to hear from you. Have you ever noticed yourself avoiding the truth about your own habits, fears, or excuses? What is one area of your life where deeper self-honesty could completely change your future. Send me a message, share your thoughts, or connect with me on Substack. I would genuinely love to hear your perspective and your story. And if you enjoyed today's episode, guys, make sure to subscribe, all right, so you never miss an update. But even more importantly, share this episode with someone who may need a reminder that real growth begins with honesty, accountability, and the courage to face reality. Thank you so much for being here on Journey to Success. And remember, your transformation begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. As always, cheers.